Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblix here, and today I want to talk to you about the Citizen Avion. How y'all doing today? So, as you can see, it is an interesting box. This seems a little flimsy, but there is a surprise inside. I do like the world logo they've done on it here. See that in the light? That's pretty cool looking. And you can tell it's an eco drive. And as we enter the box, we see what eco drive is, and basically it's solar powered. So this is a solar powered watch. And inside the box, we find yet another box. Typical Citizen round. We also find tag, join all of our groups, face friends and tweeter and all that other mess. Big honkin' thick manual in 42,000 different languages, and a digital online manual. Fantastic. Drop that garbage to the side. Star of the show. Typical Citizen style of the round hard box. Pretty cool. This is what you'll most often find it displayed on in the store. They'll usually take it out of a cardboard box and put it in the round box. And there we go, the Citizen Avion, and full retail packaging. Very nice piece. We'll pop that out. The Citizen does a weird thing in that they, one of the few manufacturers I know that actually, instead of using a pillow, this sucker is metal. They put it on a metal ring, stout as can be. What else? But here you go, the Citizen Avion. Very nice looking piece. Now you wouldn't know by looking at that. If it didn't say Eco Drive, you wouldn't realize that's a solar powered watch, because you really don't see the solar panels. So what happens is this guy absorbs sunlight and charges an internal battery and runs off of that. Pretty darn cool. It does have, of course, the three standard hands: minutes, hours, and seconds, and then it's got a date complication over here at the 3 o'clock, and it does show the preceding date and the superseding date, which is pretty cool. I do like that. I don't know why I like that. I mean, there's no real benefit. It just feels easier to read. It just seems like it's easier on my eyes. I get that there's no real meaning to it. They do have the 24-hour time on the inner ring in here, which is nice. The hour hand is different colored. Notice the orange on the hour hand there, and a little splash of orange on the top of the second hand, if the camera will focus. And the light will be my friend. There we go. Hopefully that worked out. Now it's got kind of a tapered shape. If we look at the side here, especially if we look on it this way, you can see how it's got a, it's V'd in like this on both sides. It's got these cuts in on the edge, which make it smaller on the case back than it is up here on the bezel, which is pretty nice. I like it. It's an interesting shape. The brushwork on it, in typical Citizen style, is really good. It's not stellar, but it's by no means bad. It's very uniform, very consistent, which I like a lot. You can tell where they've beveled these edges off, they've polished them. That was intentional. It wasn't like they just dropped off on the brushwork. It's consistent everywhere except where they didn't want it to be. These edges here, from across the lugs and over the case. This is a beveled edge as well that's also been polished. And then they've beveled all the way around the bezel, that's tough to say, and polished that as well. The crown is very robust, is maybe a nice word. It's larger than your average crown. Super butter smooth. A typical Citizen fashion. It is butter smooth. It's not a screw down. It is just a push-pull crown. No branding on it whatsoever, but I'm okay with that. There is branding on the buckle. It is a genuine leather band, and I have no doubts in that. Really thick, nice, heavy band. Look at the thickness on that. And this beautiful brown color goes great with this watch. Looks fantastic on it. Again, that's personal opinion, but I really do like the way it looks. It is branded on the leather, so it is something made for them, by them, or more likely for them. They do tell us it's a 22, so it is easily replaceable with another 22 band of any kind. And you can see the typical screw-on back with our Citizen logos on it there. So unlike a lot of watches, so you've got your quartz watches, which they just have a battery. As long as the battery's good, the watch is running. You've got your automatics where as long as you're moving, the watch is good. It's going to die within about 30 to 40 hours. You're going to have to pick it up, shake it, or twist. If it's got a hand wind, you're going to have to hand wind it a little bit to kick it off and get it running again. Then you've got the straight manual winds where you got to wind them every day. This is a little different. This is solar. So, about every 30 days, you're going to have to give it a day's bath in the sun. Throw it up in a windowsill, someplace that's not going to get super hot. Don't throw it on your car dash, please. But throw it up in a windowsill. Let it charge up over the day on a day you're not wearing it. And it'll get a full nice load of power, and that'll last you about 30 days or so. So this one's actually been in my watch box for probably longer than 30 days. But C still has a good charge on it, so not bad. I have worn the ever-loving snot out of this thing. I love this watch. It was one of the early ones I got very shortly. I think it was the next watch I got after my Aviate, one of the early reviews I did on this channel. It had to be my second or third, more expensive watches. This is not by any means an expensive watch. It's just, more than the $30 watch you're going to pay at Walmart or something. Though Walmart probably does sell these. It's a nice thing about Citizen. You can find them pretty much anywhere. At Kohl's or Walmart. I don't know if Walmart has them, but Kohl's definitely will. TJ Maxx. A lot of businesses you'll find around will actually have Citizen. You can actually walk into a brick and mortar store and find a Citizen. Unlike some of the more odd pieces that I've shown on the channel. I do think Citizen is one of the most underrated brands, especially by watch snobs. And for what reason, I don't know. Citizen makes amazing timepieces. I don't think I've seen a Citizen that wasn't just really well built. There probably is, but I haven't found it yet. They're much. I put them in the same league as the Seikos. They make just really good quality watches that you can buy and keep for generations. You could pass this down to your kids. They can pass it down to their kids. You may eventually have to replace the battery if the solar or if the battery's not holding a solar charge anymore. But other than that, this thing's just gonna rock on. It's just gonna rock on. So let's take a look at it on the wrist. Quick wrist check. Today I am wearing a Balmer Cobra. Very interesting piece, quite large. Love the fact that it has that moon phase in there. And pop this guy off so we can get the city on. And we'll start with your way. There we go. It's a great size for the wrist. Now remember, my wrist is a scoosh over a 7. And let's flip it around and put it my way so we can buckle it up. Band, I love, you guys know I love my leather bands. Great keepers. They're a little thin, but I think they held up just fine. I said I've worn the snot out of this thing and I've had no problems with them. First keeper is captive, which you guys know is my preference. Second keeper is free float, and it just sits and rides really well on my wrist. Great size all around. Not too little, not too big. It's the Goldilocks watch. That big crown, you will feel it. I will feel it right here when I bend my wrist all the way back, but it doesn't pinch or grab or anything. It's nicely beveled. There's no sharp edges that you're going to feel. And it looks gorgeous. Now, the loom on this guy. I will pop a loom shot in, as I always do. Not terrible, not the greatest thing in the world, but not bad by any means. Definitely doable. Now, it is running a Japanese J810 movement. It's a solid movement. It's going to last you forever and a day. No worries there. And it is a 100-meter water resistant. Again, with the leather band, I'm not taking it in the water. I don't recommend you do it either. But it'll stand up just fine from running in from the car to the inside of a building. If it's a little bit raining outside. Now you want to switch it out for a NATO strap or a metal bracelet, something like that, then it will absolutely go swimming with you. So let's drop this on the scale and see how much it weighs. It's no heavyweight, it's no lightweight. Again, it's the Goldilocks watch. It's going to be right in the middle. Even with that solar panel in there, it's only 3 ounces. So you got the whole solar charging system, and you're no more weight than any other middleweight watch, which is pretty darn awesome. So being the hybrid of watches, hybrid cars are stupid heavy. A hybrid watch is not. So, magic, I guess. I don't know. Let's get it on the calipers. Again, Goldilocks watch, we should expect a good medium size. So we're looking at a 44. Across the crown, we're looking at a 48. And then going lug to lug, you're looking at a 51. Now 44 is the size I hear a lot of watch guys say. The guys that like the big watches will say, I won't wear anything less than a 44. And the guys that wear little watches, I won't wear anything bigger than a 40, usually 2, somewhere in that range. So it's kind of that Goldilocks middle range. So thickness, you're looking at a 12. So definitely not thick, no chunky monkey, right in the middle, right where you'd expect it to be from the Goldilocks watch. So price-wise, Citizen wants $250 for this bad boy. Again, as I always say, you pay MSRP for a watch, you're a crazy person, don't do it. I found this guy on Amazon for $96.98. Absolutely worth every single penny. Would I buy it again? Heck yes. Would I want it again? Heck yes. It is a Hall of Famer for the channel. And just a fantastic all-around watch. What would I use it for? Man, I wore this thing every day. It's a great daily wear watch. It goes from work to play to after-hours activities, whatever you're doing. It just rolls right in, as long as it's not something that's very wet. If you're going, swimming or running, things like that, I really wouldn't take this. There's definitely better watches out there for it. Unless you replace this band. You replace the band with like a NATO strap or a steel bracelet, something like that, then absolutely it's going to be a great watch to carry along with you for those activities as well. But definitely not on this leather strap. But because this leather strap is so very comfortable, it's got this really nice suede back. And the traditional leather side out, it is going to wear really, really nicely. I love that contrasting stitching. It's going to wear so well for you. Very easy to read date and hands, never a problem. Even at nighttime, not bad. Love the 24-hour indication. Love any watch that has 24-hour indications. I prefer to read time in 24-hour time as opposed to 12-hour time. I guess that's, all the years of military creeping in. But, yeah, so any watch that has 24-hour time on it, because that's, I guess, the way my brain thinks of time. I guess you hear folks that speak multiple languages. There's always a primary language that they think in. Well, when I think time, I think in military time first, and then translate it to AM, PM for the rest of humanity. So, yeah, I do definitely appreciate that. So if you can see, it's got the outer ring of numbers is the minutes. If I can get let's see if I can get the light on there a little better without a glare. So the outer ring of numbers is the minutes. The middle ring, which is kind of a red color, is your 24-hour time equivalent to AM. So your 01, your 02, your 03, all the way up through 12. Then the inner ring is your 24-hour time, that kind of beige color. So, that's your 13, 14, 15, 16, up through 24. So great indications of all those different times on the bezel or on the face without looking overly complicated and crazy times. You got the nice indicators out here on the edge of the bezel. It is a thick mineral glass. It's nothing super fancy, no sapphire or anything, but it is super thick, so I'm not worried about cracking. And like I said, I've worn this, for days and days and days in a row. Back when I only had a couple of watches, and no scratches on the case or on the watch. And I'm not super easy on my watches. I'm not super rough on them by any means. I do try to take care of my stuff, but I'm not avoiding things either. And no scratches at this point in time. And again, no scratches on the metal either, and that's usually where I do tend to scratch watches up pretty bad. But you guys saw the original grain I did a review on. I think that was my last review, if I remember right. It had scratches all over the sucker. It's just a tribute to the quality of craftsmanship and metal that Citizen's using. And the hardening process they're using on their metal. So really, really excellent. Fantastic job, Citizen. But I do think that's all the time I got for today. I sure do appreciate you guys coming to hang out with me, as always, looking at the Citizen Avion. So until next time, you guys get out there and make some noise. See ya.